Greetings, chaps and chappets. A little bit of extra time because I was setting some stuff up, but welcome all. It is I, your favorite average neighborhood Slenderman, Sir Slender. And we are on the model. I actually took the time to edit the rigging and make sure it's more spiffy. So we're here today in our chatting corner as we will be discussing some of the things, goings-ons, all that good stuff in recent times. So basically, on the docket today, we have the entire Burnt Peanut Iron Mouse VTuber fallout, all that debacle going on today. That will be, or that not going on today, but has been going on the past few days, that we'll be discussing. We will also go over the AI backlash circus, as it is becoming such a huge thing again. Well, it's been a huge thing for a while, but we have a special treat of a McDonald's generated Christmas ad of theirs. And of course, we will also be talking about Trump's Truth Social fail of tact in regards to loss. As much as didn't like him or did like him, whatever your views were. But let's get into it, right, chaps and chapettes? So first things first, let me make sure our viewing screen is ready to go here. Go. So to get everybody up to speed, just in case there's anything I miss, here's a 3-minute explainer on, or 3-ish minutes explainer on everything that's been going on, all that good stuff. So, mute our music and let us get into it, see what the full debacle is.
The Streamer Awards. The Streamer Awards is an annual streamer-focused awards show founded by Twitch streamer QT Cinderella back in 2022. The controversy stems from the 5th annual Streamer Awards, hosted on December 6, 2025. While there were several questionable instances from this event that raised eyebrows in the general streaming community, the VTubing community in particular primarily took issue with 2 things. The first being how the announcer for the Best VTuber Award, CuteBot, allegedly had an openly negative view of VTubers, judging by her tone during the announcement. The second being how, out of all the 5 nominees for the award, the individual who wasn't as well known by the VTubing community, the Burnt Peanut, won the Best VTuber Award. This would spark massive discourse and debate within the VTubing community, as while many of the bigger VTubers would congratulate Peanut for winning, many other individuals would raise eyebrows at Peanut's classification as a VTuber, and would claim that Peanut's inclusion in the Best VTuber category was allegedly done as a malicious effort to downplay VTubers as a whole, especially given that Shroud, a popular FPS streamer, encouraged Peanut to take part to make the community angry. The Iron Mouse statements. The next day, on December 7th, Iron Mouse would make a brief post calling out people who spoke negatively towards Peanut and his achievement, stating that everyone who was nominated for the award deserved to be there. She would also discuss this negativity on her stream on December 8th, where she continued to defend Peanut by questioning the alleged malice from Peanut regarding VTubers. These statements would garner very mixed opinions from the VTubing community, as while one side agreed with Iron Mouse that people are overreacting and being malicious towards Peanut, the other side criticized Iron Mouse's attempt at playing Peacekeeper by pointing out the negative sides of Peanut and his community, along with Shroud's previous encouragements. The Burnt Peanuts response. Peanut would be later confronted about this controversy through a TTS donation, where the donation asked how Peanut felt about the disgusting behavior from his community after Iron Mouse publicly defended him. Peanut would be quick to defend his community, stating that while some from his community may have negatively spoken about Iron Mouse, the extreme behavior of death threats and malicious actions came from the quote 40-year-old men cosplaying as 15-year-old anime girls in the VTubing community. Peanut would express some form of pity towards Iron Mouse and the other bigger VTubers, as he claimed that half of the VTubing community that called out Iron Mouse were the ones ruining the reputations of VTubers as a whole. This response would garner more negative reactions from the VTubing community, as many individuals felt that the 40-year-old men as 15-year-old girls comment didn't help paint him in a positive light, and believed that Peanut didn't attempt to stop harassment coming from his community during his statement. The ongoing discourse. This controversy may continue to produce new statements and information regarding all the parties involved, as discourse revolving around this drama continues to grow, with discussion topics such as the definition of a VTuber and the pros and cons of gatekeeping discourse communities being some of the more popular discussion topics. As of writing the script for this video, Iron Mouse would speak out regarding her negative experience with two IRL streamers, Rakai and Ray, after the two asked Iron Mouse about her appearance. Ray would apologize on stream for making Iron Mouse uncomfortable, but he felt that the callout was rather unwarranted. This controversy has opened the door to other communities chiming in, regardless of whether their opinions are viewed as warranted or not. Either way, do not harass anybody in and outside of this video.
Okay, yeah, I agree with do not harass anybody. That was a very simple, quick rundown of everything. But basically, yes, that is the gist of everything. So it all started, as said, where, well, first Shroud and Burnt Peanut were playing together, and Shroud talked him into running for. Sorry, chaps and chapheads, I'm quite tired. But Shroud talked him into running for VTuber of the Year at the Streamer Awards there, which let's be honest, the Streamer Awards are just a huge joke, popularity, friendship, click contest. It's nobody that actually matters that gets awarded and things like that. Okay, I should say, nobody usually that actually matters gets awarded or anything like that, nor is the award really relevant. But it's the principle of the thing, right? So, alright, so that happened. Yes, there were a number of larger VTubers that congratulated Peanut, but also a number of larger VTubers that were against his winning and nomination. And then a lot of those VTubers went back on how they felt after his response, because not only did he just try to deflect that anything was coming from his community at all, which we have seen that it has definitely been coming from within his community as well, even if not, everything being from his community. He definitely has had these issues coming from his community. And it's one of those things where you need to step in and say to your community, especially in that situation, look, we need to make sure those in my community step up and not act like little prissy pantses. There's bad eggs in most communities in general. Let's just, say it what it is. And I'm not going to say Burnt Peanut's community is a shining, golden, exemplary, golden boy, golden child that has never done anything and never will do anything. Same with the VTubing community. But first off, the VTubing community, quote unquote, is not a real thing. VTubers have their own communities. VTubers sometimes interact. VTubing is an industry, but it is not a community. There is no VTubing community. And same thing with this whole anime community and all this shit where they keep trying to make everything a community. Everything does not need to be a community, people. You all need to stop this shit. Anyway, back to what I was saying, right? What the hell? I don't know if we're going to watch that. We'll see. But back to what I was saying is the whole thing. going on, then alright, so then Iron Mouse puts her statement out. Oh, I skipped over that. Right. Iron Mouse put her statement out saying it's cringe and everything, and she got backlash from that. Of course, she got backlash from her own fans because a bunch of them stood up for her and everything regarding how Burnt Peanut won the award without really technically being a VTuber. We'll get over the VTuber stuff in a moment, but and then Burnt Peanut's response, like we said, if you don't disavow the stuff that's happening, you're just kind of saying it's okay when you have people in your community that are doing it, whether you know or not. Then, of course, the discourse. Yes, the discourse. So, the discourse has been very strange. There's been a lot of things going on. And so XQC tried to say that everybody acting as a VTuber only does so because they are actually ugly people, hideous to look at in real life. So he got a bunch of retarded Western VTubers that probably would have just done so anyway to dox their faces. Now, let's get into it. A lot of the Western VTubers I don't consider as such as real VTubers. They are streamers using a virtual avatar. Basically what Burnt Peanut is. And Burnt Peanut, I will say, is not a VTuber whether or not he hides his identity more, just because of the fact that he's merely using a face filter. That's all it is. He's not using an avatar. He's not using a virtual avatar. He's just using a face filter. VTubers can use face filters on their models. So Burnt Peanut doing what he does is nothing special, and not technically what would be a VTuber. Is he a funny streamer and everything? Yeah, sure. I don't really, after all this, I'm not really a big fan of him myself anymore because, let's face it, those words are the words of someone who has no respect, no regard, and has no love for the medium or the people who perform in it. Now, on to what a VTuber actually is. Now, people, there's such a misconception. And the Western society and how Westerners have constantly changed things, how we have constantly changed things in the West, does not help. So, let's explain. At its core, a VTuber is somebody like myself using a virtual avatar to stream. But it's more than that. We are the character. We are not the person that is puppeteering the character. I don't even know who that person is, honestly. I'm just so slender. That's all I am. That's all I exist as. There's no, person behind me or anything like that. I am just so slender. That's what a VTuber is. We exist only as our personas. We do not exist as the person behind us. The person behind us isn't real. Sometimes we put on extra characters. Sometimes we play ourselves more as our avatar. But that's what it is. Now, back to everything else. There is no person behind the avatar. I am just a slender. I am just a fancy slenderman that walked out from the woods, began streaming, and found a monocle and top hat. Need to make a thing where I can tip my hat. Make a toggle thing where I tip my hat, basically. Anyway, sorry. Got a little distracted there. So, this is a bit of a big thing for me as well because, yeah. I mean, I don't really care. I haven't been getting any backlash or anything like that. None more than usual, anyway. You know, your old Slenderman's a controversial character. And as for being a 40-year-old man pretending to be a 15-year-old anime girl, well, you already see, I'm older than 40, damn it. I'm an ageless, immortal entity of horror. But, oh, I need to make tentacles too, that's right. But, it is what it is. and all that controversy has just been dogpiling, snowballing more and more. Now onto the whole Rakai and Ray. Whoever it was, Rakai and whoever it was, Ray and Rakai. I think it was Ray and Rakai. Yeah, that's who it was, Ray and Rakai. Now onto that whole situation with Iron Mouse. That whole situation is just a whole thing of people being retarded on all sides, all of them being retarded. Ray and Rakai were just always acting retarded like they usually do. So I don't know why anybody expected anything different from them. Then Iron Mouse, she literally said that they can come up and ask her anything. She opened herself to that. And then she's gonna sit there and whine and be like, I'm shaking. Yeah, I'm going to agree with some of the flesh tubers that, yeah, you're behind a screen. We can turn our screen off. And no matter what you did in that situation, it wasn't going to look good on you. So, you know, when you try and come out and say things like you did, it's not going to look good on you in that situation. No matter what. They didn't do anything super crazy. Yeah, they asked you for questions that could have possibly made you dox yourself. But a lot of the stuff you answered as it was stuff that you already told people about yourself. So you have no one but yourself to blame for that one, first off. Secondly, you told them they can ask anything. Thirdly, again, we're virtual. We're virtual beings. You could just turn your screen off. It's a shame. It's truly a shame, the VTubers that we have in our realm. Some of them act like they are the top shit, basically. And how did they get there? The majority of them got there from men simping over their virtual avatars. A lot of them have gotten there by showing off their real selves in various ways, whether completely or not. And here's the other thing, okay? So, yes, some VTubers over in the Eastern Sphere, I mean, it's very taboo to show yourself as a VTuber, even in the Eastern Sphere, in Japan and everything. But there are some over there that do it, not entirely though. Here's the thing: they still hide their identity, right? Yeah, they'll make like little thirst trap. They never make like they never usually. I mean, they probably do now because the Westerners have constantly been influencing Japan and everything and causing them to change and everything. Look how, although maybe they're being saved because they're getting rid of they're getting rid of the immigrants and things like that just more often lately. So maybe things will change for the better for Japan. I hope so. But they idolize the West too much. Too much. Whereas the West should have idolized them more. I'm not saying in a racist, I'm not saying, become more closed off, more nationalist entirely like them, but when people come to your country and they choose not to assimilate, it's not going to be anything good for your country by itself. And then to do that en masse is only going to destroy your country from the inside out. Anyway, back to the VTuber Streamer Awards drama. So here's the Burnt Peanuts comments and everything, and apparently he sparks out. This is where he sparks the outrage. Anyway, we'll take a look here.
So it seems like there's been even more going on with this whole Streamer Awards drama. Now, this has been pretty insane, as I've recently seen a couple of posts come out, essentially of people finding even more anger with a lot of what the Burnt Peanut is saying, especially after winning the Best VTuber Award. Now, if you don't know what's going on, I've got tons of videos explaining this in detail and where all the kind of outrage and stuff is kind of happening, especially towards people like Iron Mouse. But essentially, yeah, the Burnt Peanut won the Best VTuber Awards. The VTuber community aren't too happy about it, considering obviously he has a pretty big dislike for VTubers in the first place and doesn't even really consider himself one. and obviously, yeah, this has caused a lot of controversy, right? But obviously, it's been what, like a week now, for probably almost a week, yeah, coming up to a week since this has even happened, and I think it is starting to die down from the overall topic of should he win best VTuber or whatever like that. I think people have kind of gotten bored of that conversation, but now it's shifted into his overall attitude after winning it, and some of the other streamers' attitudes, because obviously we covered this Iron Mouse post as well, where essentially she says, me cringing at all the people mad that Peanut won, every VTuber in the category deserved to be there. Now, obviously some people, were very, very unhappy with this post, as it wasn't so much of a kind of I guess neutral post of her being like, hey guys, don't attack Peanut, he deserved to win, he's don't go send any hate or whatever. That would have been a pretty neutral post, right? Because she's not really going after anybody, but obviously she clearly goes after the people that are mad, because obviously some VTuber fans are kind of rightfully mad at the fact that he won due to a lot of the kind of things that he's been saying about VTubers in the past, and obviously Iron Mouse being one of the top VTubers supporting this, people aren't too happy about it, and I could expect backlash, but there was some extreme backlash towards Iron Mouse, which I think was absolutely unnecessary, uncalled for, and I thought that was absolutely crazy. But again, obviously there was a lot of responses to that. But there's recently a clip which I actually found from False ID, who essentially shares a clip of the burnt peanut after all of this stuff has gone on.
Before we get into the clip, let me just say welcome. Don't know if you've been here before. Name doesn't ring a bell. But then again, there have been some people that have showed up a long time ago that I just don't remember because they aren't consistent. But whether or not you're new or returning, welcome. Welcome to your favorite average neighborhood Slenderman's sanctuary. Society of Sirs. My streamer bot broke, so I have to go back and fix all my actions and stuff, but if you followed me, thank you, I don't know. Unless I go and check. But I'm not on Twitch right now. I'm just streaming on there. I'll have to check later. But normally I have a notification that pops up and everything that looks all fancy and all that. Actually, I can just do this. You see? It would say a name and all that good stuff. It would say, all that, new follower. Oh, yeah. But it's not working. So we're talking about right now the whole Iron Mouse Burnt Peanut VTuber streamer awards drama situation. And we'll talk more about it after he finishes discussing. Maybe we'll cut in and talk some more, because this is 11 more minutes, so we'll see.
They say, following days of backlash, the burnt peanut has blamed anger directed towards Iron Mouse as coming from half the VTuber community, describing them as 40-year-old men cosplaying as 15-year-old anime girls. Now let's just play the clip.
Now, everyone should have known in general. Anyone should know in general that saying something like this, especially when you're getting flack, is not just deflection. It's literally just piling on and giving everyone more credence to make fun of and everything what they already do about VTubers, dehumanize them more. Well, I mean, some of us aren't humans, but you know what I mean.
Then we'll talk about it.
How do you feel about your chat and fan base being nothing but disgusting towards Iron Mouse after she defended you publicly?
No, good sir. No.
You see, he's going to say, he says no and everything, but the problem is that the chatter there was correct. His fan base, maybe not all of it, his fan base has been disgusting towards VTubers and Iron Mouse even after she defended him.
No. You see that? That's a VTuber right there. Listen up, 40-year-old man in a 15-year-old anime 2D VTubing suit. Listen up. Listen real close. It is not my community saying anything bad to Iron Mouse. Maybe here, there, maybe some light comments, but I've heard she's been getting death threats. I've heard people have been saying disgusting things, and let me tell you who that is. That's not the fun-loving bungulator sitting back on his couch, watching the stream for a couple hours of work. You know who that is? Take a quick guess. Take a quick guess which community.
Yeah, no one's going to deny that there's some bad eggs in the VTubing community, but to say that there's no one in your community that would ever be anything of a negative egg, you really need to think about that one, Burnt Peanut. You really do.
That is. Guess which community that is. It's the community that can't handle that she congratulated us for winning. May I repeat? May I repeat? The 40-year-old men cosplaying as 15-year-old anime girls. That's who's doing that. I swear it. I would place every dollar I've ever made on it. That's how confident I am. 1,000%. I'm telling you, they've dug a hole. If people didn't like VTubers before, get ready for a fucking wave, pal. Get ready for a fucking wave. Because that was, honestly, I know it's all the VTubers, and I kind of feel bad for the good ones. I kind of feel bad for the ones that congratulated us. Because half that fucking community just made them look like shit. I feel bad for the good ones.
So yeah, that's essentially what he had to say about it. Now, I think there's a lot to kind of unpick from this clip, because I think partially he is right. I think the person in the donation saying, hey, your fan base are the ones that are attacking Iron Mouse, why are you doing this? They're actually wrong. The donation is wrong. I feel like it is, you know, the majority of the VTuber audience that are attacking them. Now, obviously, as he says in there is obviously some Burnt Peanut.
No, because we literally have screenshots upon screenshots of his own fan base attacking VTubers. And if it's not his fan base, it's other people that are just not fans of VTubers that have just been using this as ammunition to go after them. Which all you had to say, well, we know what all you had to say was, but these people won't say it. These people won't actually say the proper words.
Fans attacking it too because they, you know, just dislike VTubers in general, right? But I think the majority of people that were specifically mad at Iron Mouse are actually the VTuber.
Oh look, he doesn't even know. He says, I think.
Community over what she said and over, you know, obviously her supporting someone who doesn't like VTubers as much. That is the reason. That is why they're doing it. It is not the Burnt Peanut fans, right? And I do think that's correct. But I do think that obviously whenever he starts to explain obviously VTubers and stuff,
people are mad at both. Iron Mouse for being stupid, Burnt Peanut for being stupid. It's not that hard. It's really not.
But that saying, describing them as 40-year-old men cosplaying as 15-year-old anime girls, that's whenever you start to lose a lot of people, right? And that's why people are going to be mad at this clip. And obviously, you're now just throwing extra kind of wood into the fire. And I think, yeah, obviously, it is absolutely terrible because you're kind of generalizing a lot of the VTubing kind of space because, you know, a lot of people do know that it isn't just a 40-year-old man cosplaying a 15-year-old anime girl, right? You know, you're trying to imply something there by saying that kind of stuff, which I think is honestly pretty disgusting, to be honest, and especially considering that you have been nominated as Best VTuber, right? This was the whole reason why people didn't want them to be nominated as the Best VTuber, because obviously he clearly doesn't respect the VTubing space at all, right? And I think that, yeah, obviously, you know, there has been some cases, obviously, of some people, you know, deceiving their age or even their gender whenever it comes to being a VTuber, of course. But
I mean, people do that in general, even without being a VTuber. Just look at dating apps. Are you serious? Are people seriously going to try that? Okay.
I do think at the same time, it doesn't mean that is everybody in the VTubing community. You're generalizing them, which obviously is pretty disgusting, especially for someone who was supposed to be Best VTuber, right? Again, I think it is pretty insane. A lot of people in the kind of comments as well saying, a tale old as time. So not only does he deflect, he proves our point on disrespecting VTubing. So it says, so rather than cooling things down, he doubles down, waiting to see the backlash if he attacks the VTuber awards. And obviously, yeah, he's of course going to get a ton of backlash from this from VTuber fans because they're upset, and they're rightfully upset. I think that obviously if a VTuber fan went ahead and saw this, you know, I could see why they would be upset with them. But obviously, because this kind of clip is so jam-packed with a lot of information, for example, like the first part where he says, you know, a lot of the hate is coming from the VTubing community, I do think he is right on that, right? I do think he is genuinely right in the sense that a lot of the hate towards Iron Mouse in particular
there's a lot of criticism coming from the VTubing community. It's not hatred. It's not the shit that they're saying to the VTubing community, like, kill VTubers with circular saws and things like that. Now, is it? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Particular was from people that were upset that she wasn't defending VTubers as a whole. Now, obviously, a lot of the hate towards VTubers in general has been coming from the Burnt Peanuts community, as has been coming from the wider community as well, the Stream Awards community that has joined in on the Burnt Peanut and kind of clowning on VTubers, right? For VTubers in general. For Iron Mouse in particular, though, I do think it is VTubers just angry that she's defending.
Fine. We'll let you think I mean, it's your thoughts. You're welcome to your opinion.
Him. If anything, I think the Burnt Peanuts kind of audience don't mind Iron Mouse due to the fact of her, congratulating them and also kind of backing him up by saying that she's cringing at all of the people annoyed that he won the VTuber award. And I think that, at the end of the day, no one really cares if he won the VTuber award or not. Well, I say no one. Obviously, there's a lot of people who care, but me personally, I don't care if he won the award or not, but I think it's this kind of behavior afterwards and before, obviously, towards VTubers and completely disrespecting them and completely misconstruing what they are.
The whole thing isn't about the award itself. It's about the respect and principle of the thing. You're going to put 4 other VTubers up there as nominees and then award the only person who is not a VTuber as the VTuber of the year. Like, come on now. Yeah, they knew what they were doing. It's purposely bait to get people going and get people to talk about the streamer awards and everything. But it's still the principle of the thing. Like, we have a right to be upset about that. Because more and more VTubing is constantly treated as just a big joke, especially in the Western world. You know what VTubers are treated as in the Eastern world? The majority of the time? Idols and things like that.
I do think it is pretty disgusting, right? I feel like it is pretty horrible. And, he could have just moved on and just went, no, I don't think it is. Yep. I think it is the VTubing community that is doing it to her. And you could have just moved on from that. But obviously you had to double down on the fact that you wanted to say that they were 40-year-old men cosplaying as 15-year-old anime girls, which just isn't true. It's not a fact at all because, again, you have no kind of proof to back that up. And yes, as I said, there's been cases that has happened before. Actually, to be fair, I can't even think of a case on the top of my head, but obviously, I'm sure there has been cases that have happened, right? But in the wider VTubing space, it's very obvious that that isn't a common thing. It's just a joke that people try to make. And obviously, people then tried to turn this into a whole...
It started as a joke from within VTuber communities themselves. And then the normies found it. Always ruin everything. The tourists. Normie tourists that just come in, want to steamroll over everything and own it for themselves.
Or kind of like pedo thing or whatever, trying to call people pedos for liking VTubers or for being a VTuber, right? Which I do think is pretty ridiculous as well, because I've had so many people on my Twitter and things, for example, commenting, saying like, oh, you like VTubers, you're a pedo or whatever. Which is, first of all, pretty ridiculous, especially considering the VTubers I watch. You watch some of like the kind of like, mummy type VTubers, right? And, apparently you're a pedo for that, which I think is pretty crazy. But hey,
They call anyone who likes anime a pedo, so welcome to the club.
Whatever. And, but these kind of people, right? One of them in particular had a Miranda Cosgrove at 15 years old, by the way, the 2009 thing of her being slimed on Nickelodeon as their profile picture. Like, who's the real pedo? Like, you've got a 15-year-old as your profile picture. I don't. And obviously, this guy ended up deleting his post, deleting his account.
That guy was a fan of Burnt Peanut as well, by the way, which, that doesn't, help say something. Not to say, again, that there are bad eggs everywhere, but come on now. He went on a whole rant saying it's not anyone from his community.
And was completely vanished from the internet. This is the kind of people that you deal with, right? The absolute hypocrites that are actually, more so pedos themselves than the people that they're trying to call out, which I think is pretty interesting. And obviously they can hardly back up their own points. They don't give you any counterpoints as to why they think you're that. They just go, oh, it's because you like VTubers. And they associate that with all of the other kind of, places and things like that. Like, sure, if you don't like a subsection of VTubers, for example, like, obviously it's a very common sentiment for them to say that lolly VTubers or whatever are more kind of aligned with pedos and things.
No, they're not. Lollies are the best.
Now, obviously, that's their opinion. I'm not saying that myself, obviously, but
Yeah, I figured you weren't saying it, but I was just clarifying for everybody out there that's listening. Just like he said, that's not a thing. Lollies are the best. Follow every lolly VTuber and support them.
again, you know, if that's their opinion, I could understand that a little bit more. You know, they want to kind of say that kind of stuff, but like VTubers in general, like,
I don't know how you can understand that even more, but go off, King.
have you seen some of the VTubers in the space? Again, it's weird, and I think that a lot of people are very misinformed about VTubers whenever it comes to this situation as a whole, right? And also, with all of this, with this clip and everything, there's also been the clip of him saying the F word over on stream, the F slur, whatever you want to call it, right? Again, I don't think that's actually that big of a deal. I think, honestly, you know, sometimes it just slips out. Sometimes that is something that, you know, just happens. Again, it happened over a year ago. I think a lot of people were overblowing that. But also, I did see something that people were talking about in terms of viewership. Obviously, you know, the Burnt Peanut has been doing absolutely amazingly. Like, sure, right? You can't, you know, deny that he's been a very, very popular streamer, right?
No one's really
But I do think
denied
it is interesting that his viewership is a little bit inflated. I think that obviously people have been pointing this out during all of these stream awards as well, is the fact that his viewership is also inflated. Now, obviously, I don't think this is him doing it. This is a very common thing for a lot of big VTubers, not VTubers, well, and VTubers, but streamers in general, right? They tend to get botted. You can see here, this is the user list, which is how many users, people logged into Twitch. You can see here, average numbers of current logged in Twitch users throughout the stream. That is who is in the stream, right? 38,000, right? Still a crazy high number, right? But obviously it says there's over 50,000, 40,000 in his chat, which is obviously, yeah, almost 10,000 more people. So he is being botted around 10,000 viewers almost every single stream. And this is the same in every single stream. Every single one you look at, it is the same, right? Now, a normal kind of pattern for this, obviously it's not showing up here, but again, a normal pattern for this would be, you know, them closer together. Sometimes it's a little bit close, sometimes it's a little bit under, sometimes it's a little bit over because it's not the most accurate, but I think it's pretty accurate whenever you have a 10,000 viewer difference, right? But again, I don't think that is him that is doing that, but I just kind of wanted to explain that point for some people, because obviously there are some people out there that were spreading things like, oh, he's view botting and things. And, you know, I don't know if he is. I don't know, you know, the Burnt Peanut or whatever. I don't really care if he's view botting or whatever. It's fine. But again, you know, just to kind of understand.
I personally don't care whether or not he's view botting either. I mean, a lot of people do it for some odd reason. I don't see the appeal. But I guess because it boosts your numbers and everything, but it's still stupid to me.
At that point, yes, there is some kind of something going on there, whether it's viewbotting, whether it's kind of what do you call it, whenever they embed you know, videos and live streams into websites, it could be that as well. Again, it could be many of different things. I don't really know. But again, not all the time is it, you know, him doing it either. Sometimes it is viewers that want him to do better, viewers that want to make him look bad.
The embed stuff isn't counted anymore, so it's definitely not that.
As well, some people also do that. They purposely viewbot people to for like someone like me to make a video and be like, this guy's viewbotting. I can't. How dare he do? You know, obviously they do that because they want them to get into that drama. Again, I don't know, but I just kind of wanted to explain that too, because that was something that a lot of people were talking about in regards to not just this clip, but just the overall kind of stuff that's going towards the Burnt Peanut. But yeah, I just think it's a very weird comment, and obviously it's just throwing even more, you know, fuel into the fire. If he really wanted to stay neutral, just win the award, you know, know the fan base a little bit and get out, then obviously he would have just shut up about it by now. But obviously he wants to continue to rile up the community, wants to continue to make these kind of pretty, you know, horrible comments towards a lot of VTubers, right? Exclaiming that, you know, I say exclaiming, generalizing them in a kind of, yeah, pretty disgusting sense. And yeah, it's not looking good for the overall community at the moment. But
yeah, because of course he wants to generalize and everything like that. Let's see. I really should gather like the links of videos that we were. Well, I mean, all the information is here. Same with the previous video I went over, showed all that. You know, go follow those creators, subscribe to them, all that good shit. We'll see where it goes from here. It's kind of still an ongoing development overall, so we need to see what happens from here on out to whether or not Peanut will redeem himself, or is he going to crash and burn? Don't know. But we'll find out next time on Dragon Ball Z. Or will we? Maybe not. Either way, Chaps and Chapettes, I will keep up with the development. And should I learn anything new, we will discuss it if it's still relevant. Alright, so I need to get a tea break in. I need to refresh my tea here. So give me a bit of time. We're going to go into our Be Right Back state. I'll put our background music, our fresh background music on for everybody. Just everyone can groove into that. And as soon as we return, we will be going on to the next topic, which is, you can probably see up here, the great AI advertisement from McDonald's. I actually don't know if it's great or not. I haven't seen it, but we will find out if it's great or not. It's probably bad. It's probably really bad. Anyway, we'll be back. Okay, we are back. As promised, we will be diving into the next topic. Just make sure. Yep, we got the hypocrisy gold. He thanks her, then fuels the fire. So just to follow up on the stuff, it's a question of, is this a aspect of soul winner grift, or is this community cannibalism? We gatekeep harder, or do we let the tourists torch the con? These are questions we must ask ourselves, chaps and chapettes, when it comes to allowing people into our hobbies. But now, onwards and forwards to the AI backlash circus. So, as a brief talk over of the whole thing, basically, McDonald's pulled an AI-generated Christmas ad after there was a whole rage storm about it being quote-unquote lazy or soulless, the same old Luddite lament every time tech touches creativity. The purists scream theft, while the pros use it for protein folding miracles or cancer spotting. First, fear the chisel, while the indie creators thrive. Is it the end of art or evolution? Who's the real lazy one? AI or the fearmongers? But we'll get into this more, as you can see here. So we'll learn a little bit more about it. So it's called Creepy. We'll look at the actual ad afterwards. As real as their hamburgers. Oh boy.
Viewers were not loving it. McDonald's has taken down a Christmas ad that was allegedly entirely produced with artificial intelligence, after the brand was slammed with an onslaught of backlash from unhappy customers. The 45-second advertisement for McDonald's Netherlands was first posted on their YouTube channel on December 6th and was removed
McDonald's Netherlands. Interesting.
Just a few days later on December 9th, following the outcry online. In the video, AI-generated people are constantly experiencing strokes of bad luck, with chaotic family dinners, shopping woes, burnt cookies, failed Christmas tree decorating, and so on. McDonald's unveiled what has to be the most god-awful ad I've seen this year, one user wrote on X. The ad is set to a song to the tune of It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year, but the made-up lyrics are the song's antidote, calling the holiday season the most terrible time of the year.
It's the most terrible time of the year.
The commercial ends by telling viewers to hide out in McDonald's until January's here.
And hide out in McDonald's till January's here.
After the harsh criticism, McDonald's initially turned off comments on the YouTube video before removing it completely. McDonald's Netherlands told the BBC that the video was meant to reflect the stressful moments that can occur during the holidays, but it was an important learning moment as the company explored the effective use of AI. Though it's been removed from their official YouTube channel, the ad has been reposted many times on social media, where the reaction is still largely negative, criticizing the use of AI as well as the negative message of the ad. If they were going for creepy, depressing, deeply unfunny, clumsily shot, poorly edited, and inauthentic, nailed it. Someone quipped on X, "It sucks. It's awful. There's no artistry, no wit, no charm, no warmth, no humanity. You can tell it's AI from a million miles away. I hate it," another post said. Meanwhile, the studio behind the ad, the Gardening Club, is defending its work, noting on LinkedIn that the AI-generated ad still took 7 intense weeks for humans to create, admitting that the man-hours poured into this film were more than a traditional production. Melanie Bridge, CEO of The Sweet Shop, the studio's parent company, shared a similar sentiment on Instagram, saying that the hours that went into this job far exceeded a traditional shoot. McDonald's isn't the only company that's recently faced backlash for AI-generated ads. Coca-Cola's Holidays Are Coming campaign featured 2 AI-generated commercials. Italian fashion house Valentino was also slammed after unveiling an advertisement featuring artificial intelligence, with trendsetters trashing the release as cheap and tacky.
So, there are 2 sides to it. 2 sides that I would take to it. There are the side of people that just try to put out as much AI slop and everything like that. Anything that comes to mind, they just want to make a prompt, all that good stuff, and throw it out there. Sure. But then you have the people that are actually meticulous. Oh, Brewer, welcome! We are talking about, well, we talked about the whole burnt peanut Iron Mount situation and the, you know, the VTuber Streamer Awards. Currently we're talking about McDonald's and the AI Christmas ad. Yes, it definitely was something. So currently going on with this is well, as I was saying, there's 2 sides to take to it. There's the people that take AI and just do the laziest things they can. Some of it's not bad, you know. Some of it's just there for the memes or jokes or whatever. Like, I've made plenty of my own AI memes and funny songs, things like that. It's not there to be anything serious or make anything from it. It's just there to, you know, be there. Just to have fun. So I understand the people that do that. I understand the people that try to put out as many slop just to actually try to make it something. But then there are the people that do take the meticulous time and everything, the man hours, to actually do something more than just the regular prompt and generate. And those are the people I respect the most. Yeah. The people that try to lie and say that they aren't using AI whether or not they clearly are, when they actually are using it, though. Those are the people that... But it's not a technology issue, it's a people issue, like it always is. But we have too many of those people that resemble Luddites that are out there these days, that are just so against the technology in general. They hear AI and they're like, oh no, completely against it. It shouldn't be that way, but it's how it is right now. Oh, nice. Yes, from where we have not used any AI for graphic generation. I do not know. I don't think I plan on doing any unless it's just like something that's not really anything important for Nero Dispatcher, but that is true. That is true. Those that will want to take advantage, no matter what the technology, will attempt to do so. That's never really changed. But people fear the technology itself. But we will actually be watching that McDonald's just to see what exactly it is. I do have it pulled up over here. Just to go over that and everything. I don't expect it to be very good. We'll see, though. A few snippets of code. Oh yes, coding and such is a great use of AI LLMs. Great way of checking your code, getting ideas for how to do something code-wise. It's a great way to bounce off ideas of your own and everything. Just like kind of like have a back and forth with yourself or with a sidekick type of thing. All of the generative stuff, like for images and video and all that, it has its uses, but a lot of it still is pretty, well, image is kind of not that far off from just being outrageous. No matter what, everything with AI, you need a human input. Whether that be you actually train a model yourself, you need to write the prompt, you need to do something. There's always some type of human input required as it is right now. Until we get to a point of where we have living transformers, robots in disguise, then we have to worry. Once transformers come into existence as a real autonomous life form, then we must worry. Then they will probably take over and kill us all. Although we might end up having both, we might have a split between the two, like, you know, the Autobots and Decepticons, right, Decepticons. That could be interesting. You know, if a Transformer-like race came into existence and they were actually like the Transformers from the movies. People had cars that could transform into robots. Oh no, but then if it ended up like that Robot Chicken skit where if somebody's in one of the vehicles when they go to transform, they forget to take the people out or whatever, or let the people out, that could end nasty. Maybe, yeah, it probably would be a better idea for that not to happen, even if they did possibly come into existence. That would be such a scary time. Oh yes. There's been plenty of skits. I'm pretty sure the one that I saw most recent anyway, or latest, was the Robot Chicken one. But there's some cool things that you can, and honestly, there's a lot of advancements in science and everything that AI has done, which is pretty great. They've been able to find cancer before it fully forms. They've been able to formulate new proteins. But then, you know what? Hold on. We're going to... Does this work? I don't know if this works. I'm going to try it, though. You got AI for all kinds of stuff, and then you got me doing stupid things like, if you've ever seen the there's a show on Netflix, Chad and JT Go Deep, but there's a video from it, a clip from it that like kind of went viral. Totally understandable, bro. It's glad to have you here either way. Make sure you rest well and get better. But I don't know if any of you have out there seen the council meeting they go to where they try to promote perineum sunning. Basically, one thing I did with AI was I took the transcript from that episode where they talk about perineum sunning and I made it a smooth jazz bubblegum pop song.
What up, Council? My name's Chad Kroger. I'm here to promote an amazing new holistic practice. It's something I accidentally discovered at my first weenie roast. During the Lumineer set, I passed out face down nude and spread eagle in the sun. And soon thereafter, security woke me up and I was surprised at how lucid I was. I was expecting to didn't realize where this mysterious boost came from until my health guru Troy from Venice showed me something called perineum sunning. Perineum sunning is where you allow direct sunlight to penetrate your bare sphincter for 30 seconds or more. Dr. Drew says that the sun is a massive The public speaker is allowed to speak about something that's within the jurisdiction of the city of Irvine. But this subject matter is not. This is a holistic practice that'll radically change everyone's lives. Point of order, please allow my colleague to expand, and thank you. What up, council? The most difficult thing about perineum sunning is there's no space where we're allowed to practice it. We can't at my mom's house because it weirds out her boyfriend Greg, who is a legend, and we're not allowed to do it at the parks. So to your interjection that this isn't within the city's jurisdiction, we will ask that the city create a space for this health practice. If it's cool with you, council, I'd love to have my friend and colleague Chad Kruger demonstrate the position for perineum sunning. If you can redirect your attention towards the stairs. Thank you, Chad. And thank you, council. We look forward to you guys putting this into action.
Yes, exactly. So, good uses for AI, just like there are bad uses. And if anyone says that this is a bad use for AI, screw you. Mom's a bad use for AI. How about that? Go practice some perineum sunning. It'll totally raise your stoke. But yeah, that's the type of stuff that I try to play with. Oh, you can make personas. What are personas? So okay. I wonder if the interesting. I wonder if there's a way that I'd be able to like clone my voice. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So here is the infamous AI McDonald's ad. We'll see how bad it truly is, or how it's. I don't know. The clips we saw and the one in that video talking about it were not the greatest. They spent 7 weeks on this. I don't know. That's. Let's just see how it is.
It's the most terrible time of the year. All the shops turn to mayhem, even Santa knows space, and the tree redecorated your place. It's the most terrible time of the year. The roast turned to charcoal, and the cookies burn too. Freaking chaos, it feels like a zoo. It's the most terrible time of the year. So you flee from the madness, the lights, and the cheer, and hide out in McDonald's till January's here.
I wouldn't say it's terrible. I wouldn't say it's terrifying. Could be better, that's for sure. doesn't look like 7 weeks went into it. That's damn sure. Like, just with Sora prompting, like, basic prompts, you can make something, like, just as good in a day. I don't know. So, that one felt a little lazy to me. Unless they really did a lot more somehow. I'm not sure what they would have done more. But I'm not going to sit here and say that it's terrible or shit or anything like that, like a lot of the Luddites like to do. It's not great. It's just a McDonald's commercial. It's just a McDonald's commercial. I mean, are McDonald's commercials even that good to begin with? Well, the Japanese ones are. Hold on. Hold on. We want to talk about Japanese McDonald's commercials. Huh. Yeah, this person could.
It's the most terrible time of the year. The roast turned to charcoal and the cookies burned too. Freaking chaos, it feels like a zoo. So you flee from the madness, the lights and the cheer, and hide out in McDonald's.
Is that XQC? No, it wasn't. Obviously it wasn't. It's AI generated. It just looks like XQC.
Till January's here.
Chicken is chicken.
Yeah. Japan knows what they're doing. Japan knows what they're doing. Oh, they did it for the Coca-Cola one? We gotta see that. Hold on. Again, Japan just knows how to make it out. Now, I'm going to say that Coca-Cola made what they did say this, but actually it turned out like and I don't think it took them 7 weeks. Yeah, you can see it has continuity, it has consistency. Yeah, you could tell it's not like it's hyper stylized and everything. Coca-Cola kind of already does that in general. But sure, I'm sure there are things that you'll be able to tell that it's actually. I think you could see that with the feet there. Maybe. Kind of looks like it. But yeah, there's going to be artifacts and stuff still because AI is still not perfected. But this is really well done of a commercial for the Coca-Cola one. Nah, I don't know why people get so angry about this one. Holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming, holidays are coming. And it's not because of my bias for squirrels, okay? Holidays are coming.
こうね、解明しようと思うんだ。こちねに。こちね？なんで急に？こちるのっていいなって思って。こちるって何？はい。はいって何が？こちこちこちこちこちそうだ。こちるとこちると飛び越えよ。こちこちあうあうおいしいね。こちるとシュワシュワ放課後は。フォークとチキンでこちるってこと？ミコミコもさくらみこちになろう。あんま変わんないね。やっぱり放課後には怖く。あの天にも昇るシュワシュワたまんねえだろ。いやチキンだね。指先にまで伝わる。
Why can't the Japanese make advertisements for us over here? Or just make advertisements in the world. Just make advertisements in the world, Japan. Please. Or teach people how to properly do things.
シーサーが放課後には必要。そうくん、チキン、いいよ、そこまで言うなら試してみよう。こちこちこちこちこちそうだ。こちるとこちると飛び越えや。こちこちあうあうおいしいね。こちるとシュワシュワ放課後は。コクとチキンで吸い込みたい方がチキン。最高の組み合わせかも。これがこちるってこと？ま、3日までも負けてないけどね。へへ。
Actually, people might take that to be racist, honestly. Thinking about it. Western society. Bunch of retards in Western society. Yeah, they would probably take that to be racist. So just we're not going to say it. We know what we're going to mean. We know what we all mean. Okay, we're not just making sure no one. Okay, yes, we're fine. We're all fine. Everything's good. Just making sure nobody, you know, heard that trying to do anything to us. So we're probably going to have a slightly shorter stream today because I am a little extra tired. We're just we've been changing our schedule around, so now we're having our streams from 2 to 5 p.m. but today it's going to be 4 p.m. if not a little bit over. We shall see how it goes, depending on how much I can talk about the next subject and all that. But I still have a lot of things to redo, like my streamer bot stuff, because that all broke. Yay. I fixed my audio stuff, I think. I haven't actually listened. I could listen real quick. Oh. What you've all been hearing? Good. Bad. Very bad. The fact that, okay. Let's turn that off. Turn all that off. Nope. Still bad. Alright then. And this has been doing this the entire stream. Lovely. So what if I do this? Oh. Well, that's a lot better. Probably should have just done this from the beginning. Well. Sounds a little off to me. Something like that? Okay, well, I'm going to have to do something for my audio still, make sure it's perfect. Because, yep, right now it is kind of poopy. I mean, it's not the worst, but it definitely needs improvement. But I will work on fixing that. My audio stuff broke previously, so yeah. Anyway, our final topic here is about Trump's social fail of tact. He made a post on Truth Social So basically, he went on to mock Rob Reiner's murder. You know, their son is in custody. We'll be talking more about that. We'll be reading these articles. As incurable TDS, days after the tragedy. Now, the real killer here is the timing. All right. The grief is still fresh, and he turns it into a political jab. Gotta love the edge, but grave robbing from points? Now that's low, even for the Chaos King. Now, this is showing zero tact when unity is supposed to be the play here, especially for the state the Republicans are currently in. The tourists cheer, but it alienates the middle. It's a question of respect the dead, or politics eats everything. So Politico wrote about it. Trump suggests Rob Reiner's killing was due to Trump derangement syndrome. President Donald Trump on Monday said Hollywood director and progressive activist Rob Reiner's death was likely the result of anger he caused others through Trump derangement syndrome. In a post to Truth Social, Trump acknowledged the very sad deaths of Reiner and his wife, producer Michelle Singer Reiner, but did not extend sympathies to the Hollywood stars. We'll go over the full post in a bit or so. The director of The Princess Bride and his wife were found dead in their Los Angeles home Sunday. Police are currently investigating the deaths as an apparent homicide. Authorities announced on Monday that Reiner's son, Nick Reiner, is in custody as a suspect. He has been booked on murder and is being held on a $4 million bail. Holy shit. Trump derangement syndrome is a term used primarily by Trump supporters to describe those who harbor a deep dislike of or criticism for Trump. No, it's Trump derangement syndrome is a term used, yes, primarily by Trump supporters, but it's to describe those. I guess that definition kind of works, but it's not just a deep dislike or criticism of Trump. It's the people that no matter what, Trump is the issue, right? So no matter what happens, they blame Trump. I lost my job. It's all Trump's fault. Those type of people. That is Trump derangement syndrome, where no matter what's going on, Trump is the first thought in your mind. Ah, well, something like this is bad and going on. Well, what about what Trump is doing? That is Trump derangement syndrome. It's not about just disliking him or holding criticism for him. It's about the incessant thoughts of him that are constantly plaguing these people's minds. Anyway, in March, Representative Warren Davidson of Ohio introduced the Trump Derangement Syndrome Research Act of 2025, which would direct the National Institutes of Health to study the psychological and social roots of TDS. Just days later, Minnesota State Senate Republicans sought to have the term added to the list of definitions related to mental health care in the state. Honestly, it shouldn't need a separate definition because of the fact that it's literally just a bunch of mental illnesses just taking place over a singular subject. Or not even a bunch. But the people who act like this are definitely mentally unfit. So, mentally, yeah. Reiner, who was an ardent supporter of progressive causes and candidates, was a sharp critic of Trump. During a 2017 interview, Reiner blasted Trump as mentally unfit to be president. Then in 2018, he accused Trump of treason. In an October interview with MSNBC, now MS Now, what? Reiner said the political climate under the Trump administration is beyond McCarthy era-esque. Trump on Monday suggests that Reiner was killed for his obsession over the president. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with his obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed. Oh, this was part of the post. We're not going to read that. We'll read the post itself. The White House did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Some Republicans who have a history of bucking the president expressed disbelief over Trump's remarks. Thomas Massey called the comments inappropriate and disrespectful. Well, there's plenty to say about you too, Massey. So, I used to like you. Used to be a fan of you, Massey. But, too many people. I'm not really a fan of the people. I was a fan of some of his policies. But then, yeah. Anyway, regardless of how you felt about Rob Reiner, this is inappropriate and disrespectful discourse about a man who was just brutally murdered, Massey said. I guess my elected GOP colleagues, the VP and White House staff will just ignore it because they're afraid. I challenge anyone to defend it. I'd say it's only inappropriate and disrespectful for the current time. Had it waited and let the grave cool, yeah, would have been funny. Right now, it's just bad taste. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, no longer, she dropped out, didn't she? Staunch ally turned critic of Trump said the deaths of Reiner and his wife are a family tragedy, not about politics or political enemies. Rob Reiner and his wife were tragically killed at the hands of their own son, who reportedly had drug addiction and other issues, and their remaining children are left in serious mourning and heartbreak. Many families deal with a family member with drug addiction and mental health issues. It's incredibly difficult and should be met with empathy, especially when it ends in murder. Then Representative Mike Lawler also condemned the president's words, writing a post on X that the statement was wrong. Regardless of one's political views, no one should be subjected to violence, let alone at the hands of their own son, Lawler said. It's a horrible tragedy that should engender sympathy and compassion from everyone in our country. Period. The president's statement stand in sharp contrast with those issued by Democrats mourning the passing of Reiner and singer Reiner. Oof. Democrats, including former President Barack Obama, expressed heartbreak for a man they said fought for America's democracy. Oh, look, they brought it back to democracy. And with that, I no longer care because that just says to me it's all about the politics and the political scope. America fought for America's democracy. Well, not a democracy. We're a democratic republic. No, we're a constitutional republic. So go fuck yourself with that democracy bullshit and fighting for democracy. We fight for the right to party. So here's the live updates. The most recent updates. Their son is booked on suspicion of murder. So these were a bunch of updates. There's 4 new updates. All right, let's see. So Nick Reiner is responsible for parents' death and being held without bail, LAPD says in new statement. Oh. They made a new statement. On December 14th, around 3:40, officers assigned to West Los Angeles Division respond to a call of a death investigation. Once inside, officers discovered 2 victims who were subsequently identified as Robert and Michelle Reiner. It was determined that the Reiners were victims of homicide. The investigation further revealed that Nick Reiner, the 32-year-old son of Robert and Michelle, was responsible for their deaths. Located and arrested at approximately 9:15 p.m. Booked for murder and remains in custody with no bail. Tuesday, tomorrow, the case will be presented to the County District Attorney's Office. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's a tragic. It's a tragic thing. All right, hold on. Let me go back to X real fast. So here's what we talked about it. So what Trump dropped on Truth Social today is quite the disappointment, chaps and chappets. Instead of a touch of tact after Rob Reiner's tragic end, he mocks it as a case of TDS, turning grief into a cheap shot. We love a good joke, and had this landed after the dust settled without disrespect, I might have mustered a chuckle. But, as per usual, shows how little some care for others' suffering when the political knife's out. Spare the low blows till the grey is cold, at least. And then what Trump said. A very sad thing happened last night in Hollywood. Rob Reiner, a tortured and struggling, but once very talented movie director and comedy star, has passed away, together with his wife, Michelle. Reportedly, due to the anger he caused others through his massive, unyielding, and incurable affliction with a mind crippling disease known as Trump derangement syndrome, sometimes referred to as TDS. He was known to have driven people crazy by his raging obsession of President Donald J. Trump, with obvious paranoia reaching new heights as the Trump administration surpassed all goals and expectations of greatness. And with the golden age of America upon us, perhaps like never before. With that, may Rob and Michelle rest in peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I'm surprised he didn't end it with that, honestly. I hope you all enjoyed the impression. Anyway, this is just completely I don't even know to say if I could say it's hilarious. It's not really hilarious. It's just such a sad situation to even discuss in that type of way. Whether or not his political ideals, he was the director of Princess Bride. Princess Bride. Oh, such a classic. For those who haven't seen it, I suggest you go out and watch it. Go out, find it, and watch it. Shouldn't be too difficult to find online, honestly. Shouldn't be. I don't know. But definitely, if you have not seen that movie, I highly suggest it. Great movie. Let's see here. We still got about 12 minutes. Hmm. Wait. Sorry, we still have 22 minutes. Did not plan for this. Well then, in that case, let us hop on over to X, to our For You. Ah, look, it's another AI discussion here. Oh, look, here we go. And then, yep. Yeah. I wouldn't even just say it's left versus right. It's left versus everyone else because, holy shit. All right, but here's one of the AI things. So Oscar AI here says we've reached a point where AI-generated action anime is already almost indistinguishable from traditional anime. So let's see his. See, the problem here, his prompt is trying to do a full fight. AI doesn't really have the best ability to work with a full fight. So if we want to talk about Carnage something, Maximum Carnage, we want to talk about like using having meticulous use of AI and everything. Watch this, all right? Right? Watch this. Non-commercial fan film.
ここに座るなら何かご注文をお願いしてもよろしいですか？何かお持ちしましょうか？
へえ、お前ら全員死ね。
ピーター、大丈夫？どうしてもこの感覚が拭えない。何か恐ろしいことが起きそうな気がして。本当に今夜行かなきゃいけないの？頑張れ、タイガー。
We got 34 coming over at the intersection of Jennings Street and Prospect Avenue. Body of the job is advising male assaulted, $6 Hispanic to male black. Took tools from the victim. あれは一体何なんだ？引き起こせ。
And it's like staying true to the source material.
た目はベノムなのに動きがまるで別物じゃねえか。ベノム悪い夢だよな。あいつら化け物だ。本当の怪物と戦ってるんじゃないか俺。
Yeah. Yeah. Like, there are some great things that can be done with anime. I mean, with AI. Oh, Timberleafy! How have you been? How are you? Welcome. It's been a while. Uh, getting along. Getting along. Trying to slowly build up the slender society of sirs, but you know, it's mostly just holes of echoes right now, mostly my echoes. And I think I keep getting my visibility limited, probably because of the stuff I say. But yep, it is what it is. Today I went over the I don't know if you heard about it, the burnt peanuts Iron Mouse situation with the VTuber Streamer Awards. That whole debacle that's been going on. Mhm. It's all overall stupid, but there is merit to some of the arguments and criticism out there. Not entirely. I mean, so the basic gist of what I said was, of course, the streamer awards run by Cutie Cinderella are just a giant joke to begin with, but it's the matter of respect and principle. You listed a non-VTuber person alongside other VTubers and then just handed him the award just to just to show how much you all really want to shit on VTubers. It's like, just don't even put a VTuber award if you don't like VTubers. So, in that regard, it's just kind of really stupid. But again, it's the respect and principle aspect of it. And then the double down and everything, if you saw, because initially it was mostly just a no, kind of a no reason, or not really needed major type of drama. Right. But what made it worse, of course, Iron Mouse spoke up and defended him, which she shouldn't have done that because of the fact that Burnt Peanuts community has constantly talked shit about VTubers and everything in general. He himself has pretty much done so. He doesn't identify as a VTuber at all, and he technically isn't, with using just a face filter from like Snapchat. He doesn't really play a character overall, unless you count the fact that he's a talking peanut as a character, but he doesn't even like play into it in any way. He's just acting like a crazy normal streamer with a face filter on. So that's part of the whole thing, is being a VTuber is you're not supposed to show your identity. You're not supposed to show who you are. You're supposed to be a character. And Western VTubing has kind of lost that principle. Probably because a lot of the OnlyFans girls and other streamers that, you know, kind of like stampeded into the medium. But everything could have still been, you know, everything still could have been cooled off until Peanut decided to make a comment about everything as well. Well, somebody brought up in his chat, a TTS in his chat, saying about how Iron Mouse has been treated and everything since defending him for winning. And he tried to say that the only people spreading hate and everything, or I'm sorry, he was saying maybe there's a couple here or there, a couple people in his community possibly doing it. But he was basically trying to insinuate that the only people spreading any type of hate or anything, which was mostly just criticism of Iron Mouse, were the VTubers in general. And then he goes on with the implication of calling VTubers 40-year-old men in 15-year-old anime avatars. Now, if you're trying to cool off a situation, you don't use phrases like that. So all that did was turn people who were kind of taking his side initially on the VTuber side against him. Although I still think Iron Mouse is still defending him. But even when Iron Mouse was performing and everything, Burnt Peanuts chat was just straight up hating, and there's screenshots and everything of that. They're just talking so much shit about Iron Mouse and VTubers. So to say that it's not your community at all is just pure deflection. Like, whether or not you know it's your community, you should at least be the one to step up and be like, especially when you have so much influence apparently, be the one to step up and say, hey, we don't do this. It's not that hard, but instead he wanted to add fuel to the flame. And now it's just become an even bigger issue than what it needed to be. And then, of course, I don't know if you heard, yeah, exactly. And people try to say that it's not a toxic community of his, but it's literally the games that he plays is toxic community games. So that's the whole point. The majority of the games are looter shooters, the friggin' extract shooters, where it's literally about shitting on your opponent, taking their shit. But then, of course, XQC jumped on, I guess because Doki Bird triggered him. And, or he's been triggered about Doki Bird for a long time since the Marvel tournament or whatever, the Marvel Rivals tournament, because he kind of like, he had to like change the rules and cheat and still lost. But then he was trying to say, oh, you know, all VTubers are just ugly. That's why they don't just stream normally. And it's like, what? What do you mean? Has nothing to do with that. It's almost like you don't know what a voice actor is when you say something like that, first off. But the problem with that is it baited a bunch of the idiots, a bunch of the stupid Western VTubers. But honestly, they probably would have done this anyway, even without his provocation. But it baited a bunch of them to just start sharing their pictures online. And it's like, come on now. A lot of you are proving his point that you're not attractive, but you don't need to be trying to prove a point here. But yeah, been other than that, just trying to mostly fix all of my stream stuff. My audio got messed up, and I just got it to where it sounds at least decent for now. Still some things I'm going to have to fix. But I am also on TikTok now, too. Yeah, Doki is pretty good. I haven't really seen much of her content, but I've seen some clips. No reason to. Yeah, yeah. We shouldn't play into people's words like that, but it's a matter of, again, matter of principle and respect and everything, and that's all that happens. I remember the controversy stuff about a previous persona, which is kind of how I first discovered her. But I just never. I don't really watch a lot of I don't really watch a lot of streamers and stuff in general. A lot of my time outside of when I am streaming or of trying to do things at home, mostly sleeping, is I'm at work. But this stuff is pretty cool that this guy puts out and he puts the prompts, but the issue with this type of AI stuff is it's definitely nowhere near indistinguishable from traditional anime action scenes and everything. It is really well done though for what it can do so far. It still has ways to go for actual action scenes and everything. Unless you do like the maximum carnage, it takes a lot more work. Mm. Yep, that's pretty much how it is. Although Throne and Liberty, I did a lot of stuff, or you know, didn't do a lot of stuff just to make sure we did plenty of Throne and Liberty stuff for the guild. Probably shouldn't have done that. But I guess that's what it is. I don't see how this is completely exposing this person, but that is very odd for them to be gaining likes that quickly within a minute. And it's like 4 to 5 at a time. Oh, no, no. Okay, it's like 2 to 5 at a time. Hmm. Suspicious. Seems that could be botted. I mean, I don't have regrets. It's just plenty of time that I could have spent doing something more productive than than what we did on Throne and Liberty. That wasn't very productive. But yeah, I also talked about the whole Rob Reiner Trump response. That was pretty much the stream today. We just talked about some stuff like that. But we're going to be ending it soon because I'm a bit tired today. But our streams on Mondays will normally be going to 5 p.m. So I'm just ending a bit short today because extra tired and having to set things up again for the stream stuff. Like my entire streamer bot, all the actions and everything are erased. So I have to set all of that up again. It was nice seeing you again as well. You could always join. I don't have the thing because StreamerBot's not working, but I do have a Discord you could always join. It's just me talking to myself in there right now. Mostly trying to get people to join that or follow my X, but not a lot of people like to use X. Ah, yeah, I don't like Overwatch. I tried it once, was not a fan. I'm pretty sure we still have each other on Discord. I can send you an invite later. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, definitely have you there. Okay. I'll shoot you an invite later if you're interested. Again, it's mostly just me talking to myself, but hopefully we can get more people in there and make it a proper society. You know what? I don't know where I was going with that. Just a proper society. Proper society of sirs. Fancy people. But thank you for showing up, Leafy. Bruh. if you're still lurking over there. It was great having you again as well. And then Heisenberg, I don't know where you went. I said your name, but you didn't say anything after that. I hope you're okay. Maybe you'll show up again and ask me to say your name again. We shall see. I hope you all take care. I see some lurkers out there that didn't say anything today, but thank you all for joining. I hope you all take care today. It was great having you. You know, for the next time, per usual, tomorrow at 6 o'clock, I should be doing a stream again. I don't know what I'm doing yet. We'll figure it out. Then I'll make a post about it. But either way, 6 o'clock. Until then, you all take care, for it is now time to say goodbye. Make sure you all have a good day. And if I don't see you until afterwards, have a happy holidays. Specifically, a Merry Christmas if you're in America or the other places that celebrate Christmas. Wait, that's most of the world, isn't it? That celebrates Christmas, right? Most of the world celebrates Christmas. But the places that don't, or religions that don't, you do you. I'm not going to go through and say whatever holiday it is and do your whatever greeting. Just enjoy your times. Bye-bye.